Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that I'm going to show you today is first they came for the Second Amendment, and now they're coming for the First Amendment. I'm about to show you a clip from John Kerry. You know, the Democrat guy who ran for president at one point in time, and then he was really deeply involved in the UN and the State Department. Well, at the World Economic Forum, just a couple of days ago, he decided to say that the First Amendment, that pesky First Amendment, gets in the way of the centralized control of governing the people. Guys, first they came for the Second Amendment for safety. Now they're coming for the First Amendment for ease of consensus. Everything that I'm about to show you will be linked in the description box below. Please send this one out because, guys, the edge of going after the gun rights was just the tip of the iceberg. We are fighting from the very front to the very back, and now they're going broad-based free speech. Everything's linked. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. We need to spread some freedom from left to right, from south to north. Everything is about this next generation, so make sure you do that. And thank you for that consideration. Now, guys, you're going to hear John Kerry say something in here, which is all about voting and giving him the power. Well, USCCA, through their Action Fund, partnered with me at voteforbraden.com. You can go and make sure your voice is heard. You can check your registration, you can make sure you are vote ready, and you can get your representation set up the way you want to by taking your civic action and duty. It's linked right down there. Check if you're registered. Get all the ballot information you need. Know your location. Check it out, and then I'm going to show you what the tyrants are up to on the back end. We are heading into the most crucial election of our lifetimes, and millions of the people who share our values aren't even registered to vote. Think about that. My name is Braden Langley with Langley Outdoors on YouTube, and I'm partnering with the USCCA Action Fund to make sure that we do everything that we can to put the right people in the right place at the right time to pass our blessings on to the next generation. I am challenging each one of you to stand up for our God-given rights. If only half of us on this channel activate, that is 275,000 people that are active, passing on our rights and taking that civic duty to do so. Imagine how powerful that could be, and all you have to do is go to votewithbraden.com. So here's what you need to do. Go to votewithbraden.com. This is the one-stop shop. All you have to do is go there. You can get your registration up to date or check to make sure you are registered. You can get your polling location. You can even get a ballot if you desire. It has never been simpler, and it takes less than 60 seconds. Again, votewithbraden.com. All right, people, let's dive into this because this one I need you to send out. This is terrifying stuff. And one of the things that I've been saying for a very long time is the Second Amendment, the patriots, the ones who push our gun rights forward, are the ones who are going to understand what the left is doing, because the exact same tactics being used against us for decades on the gun rights side are now being deployed against the First Amendment. Watch this, okay? This is from John Kerry. I'm going to reload it just so we make sure. Reposted by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I'm going to pause that, back it up, turn the volume up, and we are going to dance on this one. Send this out.
And I think the dislike of and anguish over social media is just growing and growing and growing. And it's part of our problem, particularly in democracies, in terms of building consensus around any issue. It's really hard to govern today. You can't, there's no, the referees we used to have to determine what's a fact and what isn't a fact have kind of, been eviscerated to a certain degree. And people go, and then people self-select where they go for their news or for their information. And then you just get into a vicious cycle. So it's really, really hard, much harder to build consensus today than at any time in the 45, 50 years I've been involved in this. And there's a lot of discussion now about how you curb those entities in order to guarantee that you're going to have, some accountability on facts, et cetera.
All right, so believe it or not, that's not even the insane part of what he's about to say. All right, so the networks and the guardrails of what is a fact and what is not a fact aren't any there anymore, which means the media. He's talking about the state's centralized control of the media. That's what he's referencing. Building consensus to make it easier to govern, and people are choosing their own sources of whom they trust. Does that sound like a bad thing, or does that sound like a bad thing for a tyrant who wants to control the information, control the narrative, and then control the population? Guys, they've done the exact same thing with our gun rights, with the Second Amendment. You don't need that weapon of war. You don't need that assault weapon. The assault weapons made in 1994 solved all of our problems, even though it didn't. It's a weapon of war. You don't need that. You need to be safe. Safety is more important. You have a right to be safe. A right from a right to be free from the gun violence, as Kamala Harris says. You guys have got to vote, because what this guy's about to say about the First Amendment is going to make your jaw drop. All right? Understand what we're talking about here. This is a centralized narrative information control to control you. All right, let's keep going.
But look, if people go to only one source, and the source they go to is sick, and has an agenda, and they're putting out disinformation, our First Amendment stands as a major block to the ability to be able to just, hammer it out of existence. So
I'm just going to stop it right there for a second. The First Amendment is a major block to the efforts to hammer it out. This is a leading official at the State Department, the UN, the United States government. This is John Kerry. Guys, he just said the First Amendment is a major impediment to hammering out information that they don't like. Holy God. All right, let's continue.
what we need is to win the ground, win the right to govern by hopefully having, winning enough votes that you're free to be able to implement change. Now, obviously, there are some people in our country who are prepared to implement change in other ways. And
So you're
that's what
questioning
dangerous.
really if democracy can survive unregulated social media.
I think democracies are very challenged right now and have not proven they can move fast enough or big enough to deal with the challenges that we are facing. And to me, that is part of what this race, this election is all about. Will we break the fever in the United States?
Will we break the fever in the United States? Because democracies do not move fast enough. Guys, do you understand what these tyrants are saying? The First Amendment, it really gets in the way of the government hammering out information it does not like. This election is potentially the reason that people can be for change. Break the fever in the United States of people getting information. Guys, if this does not send a chill down your spine, I don't know what's wrong. You might be dead. Because this guy, who is the upper echelons of power in the United States, just said the First Amendment is in the way of getting what they need done because democracy does not move fast enough. The exact same people who tout and spout the idea that democracy is on the ballot and democracy is going to die if Trump is elected are sitting there saying that the First Amendment is not necessary anymore because it gets in the way of their democracy. Guys, this is holy crap level. It should be everywhere. So make it so. Everything I've got is linked in the description box below. Let me know what you think if I landed that plane, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.